Welcome to Thoughts Can Change Your Life with me, Reverend Lee. Yeah, we're here today to talk about things. I thought maybe we throw out a question or two and look at them together. And the question I'm going to throw out today is, what's the purpose of life? Do you have any ideas? What comes to your mind when you think about, why am I waking up today? What is it about life that keeps me going? Why do I want to be here? Well, the best I've got is that everything that happens to me in my life gives me the opportunity to become more aware. The more aware I become, the more I realize that I'm responsible for my experience, that I am creating my experience. The more I realize that I'm responsible for creating my experience, the more I test that power and see what other experiences I can create. Once I create those new experiences, it gives me even more confidence to create new experiences. And because this power is infinite, the number of experiences I can create is infinite, which means that I can do this forever. And so then, knowing that I have the power to create, my only job is to experience my creation, to experience life that's happening. And you see, life is not happening to me. Life is happening through me. Do you get the difference there? Life is happening through me, meaning my thoughts, my mental atmosphere moving out through me into the universe creates the experience coming back. It is the level of awareness that I am about what I'm looking at through the filter that I'm looking at it through that creates experience. But we forget that we've got a filter in how we look at things. Zach says, creating my life has been amazing, very satisfied with my results up to today. Because guess what? The results are yesterday's news. The question is, what about today? What are you going to create today, gang? That's the key thing. And this, once you understand that, you set a realistic expectation for life. The expectation for life is I am responsible for my life. My thoughts create it. I'm going to fully experience it, and I'm going to keep creating, experiencing. With that, you don't set unrealistic expectations. Because what do unrealistic expectations cause? Depression, anxiety. That's right. All depression is the result of unrealistic expectations that we bought into, that others have set for us, or that we have set for ourselves. Because it's those expectations that we judge ourselves against. And when we judge ourselves against those expectations, we're out of love. Love is acceptance. Love is seeing the fullness, the balance of life. Love does not judge. But we keep coming back to that, don't we? The purpose of life, then you could take it even further, is to love. So here's what came to me the other day. Things happen. First thing we have to do is not deny it. Accept what is. This is what's happening. This is what has happened to me. This is the situation I find myself in. And then when you look at the situation you find yourself in, you ask the question, is there anything I can do about this situation? Good question. Empowering question. And then you answer the question, you say, well, really, there's nothing I can do about that situation. The second you come to that answer, you forget it. You forget the event, you forget the people. There's nothing you can do. Now, if the answer is, I can do something, well, then you follow it up with another question. So I've got this situation. I can do something. Is what I'm about to do in alignment with what is most important to me? Does it align with my highest values, that which I'm seeking more to experience? Because that's a real important question. Because you may be able to do things, but are on things that don't really mean a lot to you. Now, the question is why would you waste energy on doing things that don't mean a lot to you, knowing that every moment of your time is valuable? I look at it and say, if it doesn't support my top 5, my top 6 values, I delegate it. I pushed it to the side. I let it fall away. If it keeps coming back, I'll look at it again. It's called prioritizing your life. And we get into a problem here as individuals because we allow other people to prioritize our lives. We allow our spouses, our parents, our children, our grandchildren, our bosses to prioritize our life. Really think about what is most important to you. If you've not done my values process, I would highly invest that you do that. It's coming up, I think, maybe in August. I'm going to be doing it on a Saturday. But like my top values are 1, to become more aware, 2, to teach, 3, interpersonal connection, 4 is about health and well-being, 5 is about studying and learning more about spirituality and human behavior, and 6 is being financially comfortable to do what I want, when I want, how I want. Notice how I could just say those values off the top of my head? That means that anything that happens to me, every question I ask, I push it against the value. I ask, does it support this? Does it support that? If it doesn't, why would I give it any time? I have a purpose to experience life the way I want to. My mind is my creator. I'm going to use my mind. I'm inviting you to do the same. Here's what I know. Whatever I can do, you can do. Even Jesus said that. Jesus said, and this I do, and you can do, and more. He didn't say he was the great exception. He says, I am the example. Here's a question. You're the example. I'm the example. No one is better than anybody else. Can you get that? No one is better than anyone else. Each of us is a point of consciousness within infinite consciousness. We're just unique. And because there's love, which means there's no judgment, our uniqueness is perfect because we don't have to measure up to anything. There is one universal intelligence, real. That's right. And that's the intelligence we actually use to create. We don't have an individual intelligence. It's our awareness of our part of the universal and realizing universal intelligence is creating our life that we create our lives. It's such a great thing to understand that and to start to play with it, to dance with it, to live with it, to experience it. This life is grand and glorious when we open our mind to the possibilities. With that, I'm juiced today. I hope I've done a little something to question things in you, to get your juices going. Figure out who you are, what you want to be, and become that man, become that woman, become that person. Know that I love you, which means I accept you as you are. Make this your best day ever. Aloha.